Hello everyone, still flying high from Thursday night. Will Manchester United carry that momentum into the weekend's game against Leicester City at the King Power Stadium? I've got Mr. Sam McCabe alongside me. I bet Rude's sick of the sight of us at this point, isn't he, Sam?
Yeah, he's going down with a club that's getting relegated, and is it 3 times we've beaten him now?
I want to say 4, but it makes
4.
Well, it was. I don't know. We played him in the FA Cup, didn't we?
We've played him at home.
We played him at home. I'm sure there's been another one. I think we did play him in the Carabao. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because it's not just twice we played him. I'm sure it's not.
No. So we played him once with Sneeze Cooper, didn't we? And then we played twice with Rude, I think.
Yes, I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's probably going down with them. I don't know whether he keeps his job or not. I don't necessarily think it's his fault at Leicester, to be honest. I think they underinvested in the squad when they came up. They lost their manager in Maresca, who was the one that was making everything tick. Lost a couple of players. So yeah, I don't necessarily think it's fault, but yeah, it's not good for Leicester, is it? If you're a Leicester fan, or not great.
Now, for us as fans, this should be straightforward, right? Going into it, it seems like we're getting more confidence. Seems like there's patterns that are coming together. People are starting to click. But having said that, it's still very important to stay focused on, because as bad as Leicester are, the last game that we played them in the FA Cup,
we were terrible.
We was terrible, and we only won really because there was no VAR, because of Maguire's offside. So we need to be careful about getting over complacent here, don't we?
Yeah, like this is a team. Even if we weren't in the state that we were in, you should be beating this team.
Absolutely.
Like, you should be beating Leicester. Like, they've got maybe one good player in the entire team. So I think, you need to be putting this Leicester team to bed. I mean, we said the same about Southampton, and we only just managed that in the last 3 minutes, thanks to Ahmad. So we've been here before with really shit teams, and we just struggle. Like, we really struggle. Especially right at the beginning. We always seem really nervy at the beginning of games. I don't know why. Like, it happened against Sociedad. It happened against Arsenal. Happened against Sociedad away. Just seemed nervous in the beginning. Like, it's.
Do you know why
weird?
What they've started doing now to try and counteract that?
Yeah, we're in the Stretford end, aren't we? Hitting towards Stretford end.
So I was in Stretford end yesterday, and then I was like, "Oh, we're buzzing. We get to the second half coming towards us." And then straight from the start, they switched over. I was like, "Hold on a minute, what's going on here?" And obviously they got the penalty, didn't they, in the first half? And took it, and then it was kind of like, the fans were right behind him. So maybe it does work. I don't know if there's any kind of thing in that. I don't know. Yeah,
well, we haven't got that at the King Power Stadium, have we? So
yeah, that's a good point.
But we have been better away in the league, traditionally. So, like, there is that. Like, I want to be confident and say, strong win and stuff like that, but I just don't know with United. I really don't.
We're scarred.
It's just really difficult. It is really difficult to put my balls on the line and be like, we're going to win this, because I'm not 100% sure that we will. I hope so, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, if Amarin speaks about the players and says they're scarred, don't they? Like, there are deep scars there that they're very nervous. I think fans can kind of use the same thing. I think we are so scarred from, like, getting the slightest bit of confidence to going into a game and being like, never mind, just complete letdown. Chivy warned us. So just putting that out there.
He also said, though, I saw the group chat because I didn't see the game live.
Yeah.
I went to a screening of Mickey 17, and I came back to 54 messages, I think, in our group chat. I went, so either this game has gone horrendously bad, or it's gone really, really well.
What was your instinct telling you when you saw them?
Instinct was we've been battered. That was my instinct. And then I checked the first message, and it was like 1-0 down, penalty to Sociedad. And then Chivy said, "We're not winning this." And then as I scrolled down, it was just like, "Oh, Bruno's got a hat trick." And then so I was just like, "What a fucking game to miss! What a game to miss!"
Absolutely, yeah, it was incredible. And I think a big part of that, this kind of freshness in the team at the moment. Obviously, there is Dorgu, there's a few others, but I want to talk about Aiden Heaven, because when we first signed him, there was talk of the first team, which I think the majority of us probably thought, probably
maybe
take a bit of time. Towards the end of the season, we might see some cameos and see where he's at. But since he's come into the team the past couple of games, he's actually done, like, really, really well. So does he deserve to keep his place, do you think?
Yeah, after the performance against Sociedad, I thought he was excellent. I thought Obviously Bruno is going to get the man of the match plaudits and
100%.
fairly should, but I think Aiden Heaven was in for a shout. Honestly, I thought he was that good. Like, I watched the highlights when I came back from the screening, and then I watched the full game today.
Yeah.
And he looked excellent. I think he was it 44 out of 48 passes, correct? Like he got, which is a fantastic ratio. I don't think he got dribbled past a single time.
Won his first tackle, so within the first 2 minutes, there was like one where it was a 1v1, and he just bang straight into him.
He's 18, but he's a big lad. Like he's a big lad already, so he's only going to get stronger and better. And for £1 million and to put in for that performance, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. That's ridiculous.
If you're Arsenal,
I'm well happy.
Are you not looking at that and going, $1 million, really? I don't know what we paid for Chido. I don't know what the price was, but
it was like maybe 1.5.
Yeah,
like it wasn't much.
A couple of them in it, like a couple of mil, you're probably talking maximum. And you look at those two players, the potential that they've got. Now, obviously, I know it's extremely early days. I understand that. But they could look like a bargain if the way they're going with the potential that they've got. They really, really could. And these are the smart, shrewd kind of signings that we spoke about from Ineos.
So, like Aiden Heaven, Chido, you've got Diego Leon coming in. In the summer, so it'd be interesting to see how he does as well. Like if he can hit the ground running similar to Aiden Heaven. So I know we lost out on Quenda today, but like I'm sure there's plenty of those players around, like 17, 18-year-olds you can bring in and sort of hit the ground running. But yeah, I was really impressed with him. I saw a lot of Arsenal fans basically slag him off as, we got rid of him for a reason. He's never going to be better than Saliba and stuff like that. And it's like, seems like he's a pretty good fucking player, man.
Yeah.
Like,
even if not, like having behind Saliba growing as that next one to come through. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a bullshit excuse for me personally.
Yeah, and they hate Cheeto for the same reason, don't they? They're just like slagging Cheeto off and stuff like that. And you're just like, come on, lads, like let it go. But yeah, I think he's excellent. I've not to spoil my 11, but I have put him in because I think he's done really well, and I think with Yoro's injury in doubt, we don't know what's happening there. Maguire's injury in doubt, we don't know what's happening there, and obviously Lissandro being out for the season, I think he's the strongest contender for that left centre back position.
Yeah, and left-footed, which helps as well for angles, don't they? I remember Tenag going on about that all the time. Balance is the word I want to use, I think, when it comes to Heaven, when it comes to Xerxes and Dorgu on that left-hand side, especially. I think what was going on with Garnacho when he was playing over on there was he was kind of getting in each other's ways, wasn't they, Dorgu? And it didn't kind of work, the balance.
Garnacho wants to go out wide all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's dragging.
Dorgu's want to go out there.
Dorgu's starting to invert because he's dragging. It just becomes a bit of a mismatch and a nightmare. But you put Garnacho over on the right-hand side, Xerxes on the left, and then Garnacho and Mazraoui had a nice bit of a partnership as well when he wants to bomb forward. You've got the balance with Casemiro and Bruno at the minute, which seems to be, kind of half-cooked. I don't know. I can't put it. I said this straight as on a 12 o'clock show. I can't put it down to why it's working now, because we are slightly more pragmatic and protect him a bit more. But he hasn't got those large spaces either, has he? When you watch a game. So that's why he doesn't look as exposed, which, again, someone like Chivy, for example, has said quite a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah, I saw with Garnacho, one of the first things I noticed is he got the ball when he came on, and he got the ball, and he was running at a defender, and he started to drift to the left, and I was just like, don't do this. And then he saw the run of... I think it was Bruno on the right-hand side, and just slotted it out to him, and then Bruno scores from that shot. I'm like, old Garnacho would never have done that. Yeah, he would never have done that.
It's almost like he has to do it, innit? Because he's on the right.
Because he's on his other foot, And if he's on that left-hand side, he's cutting in and trying to shoot, and he's ignoring Bruno completely. Like, he's never thinks. So I was like, that's really cool. I liked that a lot. Xerxes was playing like a fucking baller, by the way, wasn't he?
Joga Benito vibes.
And drag backs and fucking flip. Like,
you see the period, there was on the left side of the pitch from where I was watching, he was on the left-hand side, and he brings it down, nutmegs a player, and then goes past someone else as well. Like,
I think he had two players in front of him. He was on like the towards the edge of the box, and he dragged backs through one player and then ducked inside for the other player. But I was just
He's techie, man.
Where the fuck is this come from? This is insane. So, he had a really good game as well. Really impressed with Xerxes. Casemiro probably had his best game this season under us, I would say. I know he had a good game against... he had a good performance against... but I thought this was his best performance in things. So, it's interesting. I don't know if he could play 3 games in a row. So it'd be interesting to see if Amarim puts him in again.
Yeah, and then do you destroy someone's confidence by doing that?
Because so
it's a team game, but
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, his passing was excellent. I think against like opening up lanes and stuff like that. Really, really good. So yeah, I like all of what's going on there. Even Hoyland didn't score, but I thought he's really, really good. I thought he was important. Won a load of his duels, got involved, got into the right places. Probably would have scored if we hadn't been like the foul for the penalty. Probably would have put that in the back of the net, and he got an assist.
Yeah,
and like he did everything but score. So I think you've got to give him a clap there for for Hoyland. So I think that whole front line was working really well.
Well, we don't know for definite now, but we have got a couple players coming back. Someone like Mason Mount could feature on the bench for us, which would be nice to see a little cameo from him, right? Because, I mean, Amrin's spoken about him again today, saying that he loves him and he's...
Getting creepy now, isn't it?
It's a bit like, like Stalker kind of vibes, like, chill out, mate. But he's obviously sees him as a perfect fit for this system, right? He's obviously looks at him. So just to see that, I want to see just even if it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just see him in that role and see how he does. I know the injury things are there and we can speak about it for days, but to see him for 20 minutes tomorrow could be interesting, right?
Yeah, especially if say we're 2-0 up or something, that'd be great. Like just come on, he's got that freedom to dictate and like involve himself in the game, less pressure on him and all that sort of stuff. Doesn't feel like he has to sort of proper go 110%. On his first game back. So yeah, I'd like to see a cameo for him. Please just stay fit, Mount. Please. Like I'm just begging. Just
tired
please.
of talking
like,
about it, innit? Like, oh, he's injured again. Oh, what's gonna happen when he comes back? And
no, it's just so frustrating, man. Because I think in this system, you're correct. In this system, I think he'd be perfect. I think he'd work so well in this system. And if he isn't able to get fit, it's just gonna go down as a terrible fucking signing, isn't it?
This is like the moment now, innit? Like, it's now or never, really. If he comes back now and he's out until the end of the season again,
you have to shift him, don't you? Because you just can't be relied upon.
Have to.
It's just sad, but yeah, I hope the best. I hope he stays fit. I hope he comes on, makes a good performance, and I hope he can be there for the rest of the run to the season because we need all the players we can get at the minute because of the injuries that we have.
Well, looking towards the future and the table, Tottenham and Brentford have got a couple of hard games this weekend, so there will be a chance, despite I know you won't be asked about this, but to climb more towards the mid-table. We've got a few big weeks now. You've got obviously the quarterfinal, which is I think like 10th of April, something like that. You've got Leicester, Man City, and Forest in that period. Are you more confident going into those Forest and City games, or less confident, or where you at? Like going into the games now.
Man City, I'm confident because I think we show up against those big teams.
Yeah,
we showed up against Arsenal, showed up against Liverpool. I think I'd be confident in that game. City are all over the place at the minute. Like they just can't seem to, like they win a game and then the next game they look terrible. Like it's just they're dysfunctional at best at the minute. So I'm confident there. Forest are weird, aren't they? Forest are a weird team because they're all about the counter. And we're really, really bad when we're in like possession and we have to dictate a game. So they're just going to give us the ball and then we just wait for the space.
It's going to be a game of you have the ball. No, we have the ball. No, you have the ball.
So that's going to be an interest. That worries me. The Forest game definitely worries me because they put a beating on us at Old Trafford. I worry about that Forest game. But the City game, I'm pretty confident about the City game for once. But yeah, Forest, that might be a tricky one.
Well, on Sunday, Leicester, I've got a fun fact for you. I've lost all of their last 5 games and only scored in one of them. Can you guess who that was?
Tottenham?
Us.
Oh, was it us?
Yeah, so that was the last 5th game in the FA Cup against us. But the last 4, they didn't score in any of them. Obviously, it was always going to be against us. We like breaking records. They've conceded 62 goals in total this year. 17 points in the league at the moment. It would take an absolute major slip up from Wolves and some consistency from Leicester just to even be in the fight at all. But there could be a case here if we're going into this on Sunday where they're going to fight tooth and nail for any sort of point they can get. Absolutely scrapped, especially at home as well, right? Because they've got a few home fixtures left. Does that have a bit of worry in the back of your mind going into this at all, especially with United?
Them beating us doesn't worry me. Us slipping up and making mistakes and not fighting like we did against Sociedad, that worries me. That's the way Leicester win. If we don't play like we did against Sociedad and put 100% in and take our chances and play the way we did and fight, then yeah, we could. We've seen it under us, like with Crystal Palace games. You remember that? Like we were just fucking awful.
That was
It
terrible.
was so bad. It was so fucking bad. There's no fight, no like desire to do anything, and that's the team. If that team shows up against Leicester, they could beat us. Yeah. They could, because they did it to Tottenham, like at home, didn't they? Like when they went away, played at Tottenham, they beat them. And like Tottenham were in this period, weren't they, where it was just like miserable, like just absolutely terrible. And that could happen to us if we don't show up. But I think if we show up the way we did against Sociedad against Arsenal, I think we'll win easily. But obviously, we've not been able to put together a consistent run yet. So I'm still sort of waiting for that run to happen. Obviously, we drew against Sociedad, drew against Arsenal, and then we got the win against Sociedad. So let's follow it up with another win. And then we can head into the international break feeling a bit positive and a bit sort of like, okay, let's see what happens. Get the players some rest, get some like minutes into sort of the youth players and stuff, and then we can see what happens when we come back.
Does it feel like a case of Ruud is the right manager but at the wrong time for this? Because at the time when they brought him in, I said straight away, I wasn't convinced at all that they should. I felt like I said it a million times before, but they should have gone and got David Moyes or someone like that. They would have definitely, because I don't know Ruud's ever managed a team that's been in that. Do you know what I mean? In terms of experience, it's always obviously PSV was competing near the top, and then he's been like assistant roles and stuff. So I don't know. I never felt like it was the right fit for me.
No, but a couple of people, like, they went for Graham Potter twice and he turned them down both times, which
not surprised.
Says something, doesn't it? Like that says something. That Graham Potter's turning them down.
Yep.
I think they went for somebody else. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but like well-known manager, and they turned them down. So there's clearly something going on there that people are not sort of willing to go there. And I think Ruud just wanted to get straight back into management after the United sort of caretaker role. They came along and he was like, let's give it a go. Obviously, all managers back themselves, don't they? Every manager goes, I could turn this round. I could save them from relegation.
It's like a bit of ego involved with every manager.
If you don't as a manager, you should be a manager. Like, it just, that's the way it is. And yeah, he's wrong team. Like, I just think it's the wrong fit, like you said, for him. So it's unfortunate, but I'm sure, like, if they get relegated and when they get relegated, or he leaves or he gets fired, he'll get another job somewhere. He'll be fine. Like,
I think so.
But yeah, just not the right team for him.
I think we should introduce like a league where it's between the Championship and the Prem, where and kind of sort out this thing where I don't know how you would do it, but every team that comes up always goes back down. It's the same. So there's no thrill in it. There's no like, oh, someone could stay up. I mean, the last ones were Bournemouth and Brentford, who really kind of solidified themselves now. Above us and Tottenham and Everton and stuff. And they're in fantastic seasons. But I don't see a case of that now with teams to come and do that, because the financials that are involved are so like mega, aren't they?
Like, well, Ipswich have spent, haven't they? They spent money, like big money, and it's not worked. Like, it just hasn't paid off. I think the last team I looked at and like maybe they could stay up was Luton. When Luton came up, they looked quite good, but they just kept getting beat. Unfortunately, we looked shit against them as well. That was a fucking.
But it was a breath of fresh air, Luton, just because of the stadium and everything involved. Like, it was just different.
Yeah. I thought they might stay up, but obviously it didn't happen. Brighton came up a couple of years ago. They've established themselves, haven't they? Fulham came up. Fulham have came up recently. They've established themselves, so it can be done. But yeah, I don't know who's at the top of the Is it Leeds at the top of the Championship at the minute?
I think Leeds, Sheffield, and I can't remember the other team as well that are looking like they're going to come up. Maybe Burnley. I think it is.
They're all yo-yo clubs as well, aren't they? They go up and then come back down.
Probably the same thing happen again. That's what I mean. It's just like, who's asked? Because if they come up, they just go straight back down. There's no excitement involved in it at all. Anyway, back to this game. One to watch for you, Sam. Did we just go Bruno? Look, we're lying in it if it's anyone else. If we say anyone else, it's
Bruno. But obviously, pay attention to Xerxes. He had a really good game.
Yeah.
Heaven, obviously, and then possibly like our Garnacho and Hoyland, like, because I think they look better than they have, so they'd be interesting. And for Leicester, it's got to be El Canous, isn't it? He seems to be the only guy with any sort of like drive and talent, and he'll probably get a Premier League move, I imagine, when Leicester go down. I would say Buonanotte as well, but he's on loan from Brighton anyway, isn't he? So it's
correct. For Leicester, I just put the words UGH because I just don't know. They haven't really got a talisman at the moment. This is a tricky one. Right, quick 5 questions then. Do Leicester score?
I'll say no. I'll say clean sheet.
Interesting. Favorite player from when Leicester won the league?
Ooh. Kante.
That's what was mine.
Or
Unbelievable.
Mahrez or Kante. One of those two. They were
really weird that season, wasn't it? They played like a 4-4-2. They had like Vardy, Ozaki, I think it was, Japanese striker. Yeah. Drinkwater, Kante, mad team. Mad team.
Mahrez,
still.
And then they had like, was it Wesley, what's his name? Centre back of the captain.
Oh, fucking hell. Morgan, Wes Morgan, it was.
Yeah, Wes Morgan, and then Kasper Schmeichel.
Kasper Schmeichel, Fuchs at left back, the Austrian.
Yeah.
Crazy, mad team. So I think they won the Premier League is still mental. I know it was a while ago, but
the next year Ranieri gets sacked because they're in the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Insane.
Crazy. Does Heaven start?
Yes.
Did you hear what Andy Mitten said about Heaven, by the way?
What did he say?
Someone suggested a chant. So do you know the song that "Baby, You're All That I Want"?
Oh yeah, Sammy.
We're
DJ
in heaven.
Sammy.
He says we're in heaven. He said try saying that to a load of Salfordian lads and just for them to get him to sing that. Like you've got no chance of it happening.
It's not happening. That one.
I was laughing.
That was not happening.
Any red cards or penalties in this game?
Gotta hope not after the fucking Sociedad game. Jesus
that was
Christ.
mad, wasn't it? Penalty. Like what the fuck?
Red card as well. Like,
yeah.
Like, that was bad. Even madder was Dorgu. Shut your fucking mouth, mate.
I was about to say.
What are you saying? Just go.
I don't know if I like that or I do like that or.
Oh no, fuck that.
It's a bit two sides to me with that one. I don't know.
Don't give a shit. It's my team. I'm like, fuck it. Get the penalty, lad. Get the penalty.
I thought Amarin's answer to that was interesting in his post match. He said, well, it depends when you ask me. If it's at like 0-0, then I don't know.
Yeah, or if you're 1-0 down or something, like, yeah.
He's a winner. Yeah. Prediction for man of the match?
Bruno,
absolutely. There's no one else. I'd like to see what Roy Keane thinks at the moment as well, by the way, sipping his cup of tea.
Somebody stick a mic in his face. The immediate.
I'd be very, very interested to see what he says. Right, let's get into predicted 11s then. Yours is on the screen first, Sam, so if you want to talk us through yours.
So mine is pretty much the same team as we saw against Real Sociedad. Obviously, we don't have Dorgu because he's still suspended, which is fucking irritating, but there you go. Yeah. So I've got Onana, I put Mazraoui at right back, De Ligt, Lindelof, because I think Maguire and Yoro are still doubts, I believe. So we can't put Mazraoui in that centre-back position. And then Dallow's at left-back, unfortunately. Heavens in the centre-back role, I think he'll start. I think I put Ugarte in there just because Casemiro's played 2 games in like 3 days, and he might be a bit knackered. They said Ugarte... They chose to keep him at home for the Real Sociedad. He was ready, but they chose to keep him at home. So I'm thinking maybe he'll be ready for Leicester.
I think so.
Garnacho has been strapped up for ages, hasn't he? Like he's had strapping on his leg, on his knee for about 6
I don't know
games.
if he was in the last game. I couldn't see it close enough. I don't know if he still had it on or not. But
so I've dropped him out and I've put Eriksen in there with Xerxes and Højlund up top because I'd love to see Churro start, but I just don't know if Ruben's ever going to start him. I just don't think he will this season. But yeah, I'd love it if he surprised me and he did put Cheetah up there. But I thought Højlund was a lot better against Sociedad. So yeah, give him an opportunity.
In an ideal scenario, you want it where with 2-0 up, 3-0 up, Mount comes on, Cheeto comes on. In an ideal world, but as United fans, we don't really live in an ideal world. No. So, yeah. Right, I'll put mine on the screen. I've got Onana, De Ligt. I have put Maguire in there just because he said maybe not the Sociedad game, maybe the Leicester game. So I think Maguire might come back into it.
Maybe, yeah.
You've got a blend of experience there. De Ligt's been doing unbelievable. That's another one as well. Paul Scholes, mate. Like, you
wrong.
Writing off De Ligt without even watching him for the first 6 months, like it's just insane to me. He's been an absolute rock at the back. So De Ligt, Maguire, Heaven, Maz and Dallo, you already know the score with them two. I agree with you on the Ugarte situation. I think he'll come back into the midfield with Bruno. And then Garnacho on the right, Xerxes on the left, and Rasmus Højlund up top. And I pray he gets a goal, because if you can't score against Leicester, I mean...
Yeah.
I think you're going to struggle for the rest of the season, aren't you? To be fair.
This is probably your best team to score against, I think.
100%. Conceding 60-plus goals is mad.
Yeah.
Having said that, I don't know if I want to go with my prediction now.
You think we're going to lose?
No, I don't think we're going to lose, but I did say in the Premier League predictions that this could be potentially a bit of a slip-up. Because I think there's a lot of positivity at the moment. I think there's a lot of confidence. And I think there'll be maybe a bit of a reality check with a 1-1, like a Leicester last-minute equaliser or something. So I've gone with a 1-1.
Oh, that'd be horrible, wouldn't it?
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
we have to be honest in these predictions. You know what I mean?
Maybe I've got caught up in a positivity of like
Do it. Go for it. Why not?
And I've gone 2-0 United. I just think Leicester are proper terrible, like really, really bad. And I think the confidence that we've taken from Arsenal and that game on Thursday, I hope that sort of flows into this, and we can get another win. And we've got back-to-back wins, and we can take that into the international break, so we don't spend the international break going, oh, for fuck's sake, we've been beaten by Leicester. Like, what?
I thought you said so we don't spend the international break crying. Then I was like, yeah.
Well, yeah, you might be crying as well, but yeah. I mean, I'm crying the fact that fucking Tuchel's picked Jordan Henderson. That's madness. But
interesting, isn't it? Interesting.
Conversation for another day.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0. I'll go positive. And if I watch it and we lose, we know it's me that's the curse, because I didn't watch on Thursday and we won. I've watched every other game and we've been shit. So if I watch and we're shit, then we know it's me. So,
are you willing to sacrifice yourself for the good of the team?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Okay, and we'll just do like a radio commentary in the chat and just have like audio for you rather than being able to watch it. That'd be interesting. Yeah. The good old days. Let us know your thoughts on the game, score predictions, team-wise. Do you think any individuals will come in, the ones who are coming back from injuries? And how do you see the game playing out as well? Get it in the comments section. Please do smash the like in the video for us and subscribe to the channel. We are currently on 13,229 subs. So it takes 2 seconds. Please do hit that subscribe button. And also drop us a follow on socials, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. This has been the preview for Leicester City. Keep this confidence going, lads. Let's see what happens. See you in a bit.